Hello customizers, legends and collectors, I'm Zaash Mann, and today I'm just doing a little bit of a demonstration. I've got a giant Ultimate Warrior head, and it is sculpted by the great Tom Veg, and I've done a bit of painting so far on it. So as you can see, I've done some of the hair, and I've done skin color and some inside of the mouth sort of thing. Might be a bit hard for you to see that, but yeah, today we're just going to do a bit of painting. So if you want to watch, watch. If you don't want to watch, don't watch. If you don't want to hear my horrible voice, turn the volume down. Very simple. I've spilt some color accidentally on my bench, so it's become my palette, because that's what we do. We adjust as we roll. So I'm just going to put another coat of this on here. I've actually mixed some of my favorite ingredient in with this paint. It is the Della Rowney Flow Enhancer. If you guys aren't using that, it's quite a good product. It basically is a little bit soap suddy, but you can mix it in with your paint, along with a bit of water if you wish, and it just eliminates a bit of brush strokes and and gives it a nice smooth coat. So yeah, highly recommend that stuff. If you guys haven't tried it, maybe get onto it and have a little go at it. I think you'll be impressed. So I'm just going to whack a quick coat on here, and then we'll move on to the interesting stuff like the face paint. I may just add a few extra textures onto the skin before we go on to the face paint, but I don't want to muck around too much. I'm going to go over the hair a little bit there because, oh, you guys can't even see. Look at that. Got to get my act together here. Not used to filming myself while I paint, but something I'm probably going to have to get used to, because I do intend on doing a few more videos, or a bunch more videos next year. So this can be a bit of a trial. This can be a bit of a tester to see if I'm cut out for this. It's Friday over here in Australia. It is 1:46 and I've got a half day off, so I very rarely normally paint during the day. It's normally a night thing for me, but here I'm going to put in half an hour or so and see where it gets us with this warrior. Okay, so I think the skin's fairly covered now. So we'll move on to a few textures. I've already put some color on the lips, but I'll need a bit more on there. And I've also added some dark, it's kind of a brownish blue inside the nostrils. Okay, so another little tip for you guys, if you don't know about this, it's a Citadel, I'm saying that right, aren't I? Surely. Citadel water pot. So this has actually got little grooves on the bottom which your brush rubs along, and it just helps it clean your brush. No, I'm not getting paid any extra from Citadel. I don't have enough viewers to get paid extra for that kind of rubbish. All right, let's get some red going. Get on there. Okay. Using the same brush. Got a little bit of red on the palette there. Nicely watered down. I'm going to take the excess off the brush. Okay, so using tiny little bits, I'm going to just put some colors here and there on the cheeks and around the sections where you think might be a little rosy. Of course, this is not something everyone does, and you don't have to do this kind of thing, but hey, this is what I do. This is my video, so you can take note or you can disagree. I don't mind. Even message me in the comments. I don't mind. We all do things differently. Okay, so we're darkening up some of the little grooves as well. And where you can, leave the highs a little lighter. I'm going to put another coat of that on the lips, darken those lips up a tiny bit, make them a little more rosy. But I don't want them too drastic. Sometimes people tend to like to exaggerate the colors. I'm not one of those who likes to do that personally. I like to keep things very subtle. Okay, so got some wet paint going on there. It's got some nice sheen. I think we do need to add a bit more color on that tongue in places, so I'm going to get a bit more red in there, a bit more water. Take most of it off on my cloth. Just add some sections of color. Some parts of the tongue can be darker than other parts. So I'll try and get that kind of blotchy effect of the tongue. Okay. Just inside them gums a little more. If ever you put too much color on or you go too hard with something, quick dash of water fixes it every time, or you can even just smooth it out with a bit of water, and it you can always turn a mistake into a good thing. There's never a mistake where it's ruined your job. Okay, pretty content with that. Okay, shout out to Nick Johnson, who's also doing a Ultimate Warrior at the moment. That freaking genius has actually hand sculpted pretty much from scratch. I think he used a Warlord head. Yeah, he's hand sculpted it himself. He's an absolute freak. So we'll get to see that in the next, hopefully, day or two, unless he's saving it for a special occasion. But keep your eyes out for the Nick Johnson Ultimate Warrior. That's going to be freaking awesome. Okay, I've gone a bit of color over the tooth there, which bothers me. So for teeth and eyes, I never use just a stark white. Right now I'm using, the color's rubbed off, but this color here, it's like an off-white. So I will get my thin brush out, my microscope down. Okay, so I touched up some of the inner teeth. This camera is not, unfortunately, a macro camera, so you might not be able to see the teeth properly, but we've got some dark grooves in the middle of them, a bit more lighter on the outside, as you would. We're all human. They're not perfectly white the whole way through. But if some people like the cartoony look, that's great. You can also do that. Just the way I'm demonstrating it today is a bit more lifelike, is how I paint. So that's the way you're going to be seeing it. I'm going to grab a tiny bit lighter skin tone now. Not put much on the brush. When you see me do that, I'm wiping this on a rag. Don't think I'm doing anything crazy under there. I'm just going to okay, this isn't working the way I wanted it. Take a bit off. This is going to be face painted anyway, but underneath the face painted sections, I'd like you to see some orange sections where there isn't face paint, some highlighted sections. It may not even be seen. It may or may not. At least I'll know it's there at the end. Okay, so I've kind of hit the high parts there, just with a bit of lighter skin tone. I'm not going to bother doing any flicking or anything for spots on the face with this one. I'm just going to keep it fairly simple because the face paint will be covering it. Okay. All right, now I'm going to get rid of the rest of this paint off the table. Beautiful. Might look up some Ultimate Warrior heads. I actually haven't got a color in mind. Any of you guys know any colors that might be a good one to use? What do you reckon? Okay. I'm going to look up Ultimate Warrior and we'll just come up with one. Images. Okay. Nah, I've been doing too much. I've done that once before. Done to death. All of them are pretty much done to death, aren't they? I don't like these ones that look like they've got whiskers. Not the warrior on you. I'm not a fan of that one either. Do we have to go with this one? No. No, we don't. Hey, that looks pretty crazy. What do you reckon? Should we go off that? Done. I've made up my mind. We're doing it. All right. Let's tuck into this face paint. All right, so we need black, white, orange, and green. Black, white, orange, and green. Okay. There we got it. All right. Do I start from the inside or the outside? I think we'll start from the inside. Let's go to green. Now I'm going to put a bit of flow enhancer in these because I'll put it in a separate little section, and we can dip our brush in. That way it'll keep it nice and thin, because a lot of the time the problem with these warrior faces, people kind of tend to want to do one coat and just get it done in that one coat, and then it leaves you with globby sort of blobs, and we want to make it kind of smooth. So green won't be the best covering color, so if we have to do a few coats, we have to do a few coats. It's just the way it is. For a good custom, it takes time. Dot there. I'm going to do the dot technique, which is something I do quite often. Just points where you want to meet. So then that top one will go down around the eye. So that's simple around there. Now end up. It's in line with the nose, or the in between the top lip. So we'll go right the way across, and the same point is about there. Very good. Okay, so here we've got the dots, top on the nose and on each cheek where we want to meet for the first coat. So we'll just start off by doing a nice little triangle here. Not worrying too much about going over to a certain degree, because the next color can just nullify that out anyway. So then it goes over the top of the eye and around. So we're going to be going up. It doesn't leave too much room. So this is why we do the eyes afterwards. I did the white just to get a general feel of it, but you wouldn't want to complete the eyes, because it will potentially, like I just did, go over the eyeball. Oh, it's getting hot in here. The Australian heat, middle of the day, in a tin shed. Whew. Okay, so we've got the first coat of the green on. We're going to shoot on over to the orange. Okay, so the line underneath seems thin, and it gets thicker over the top. So now we'll hit it. It's a nice sharp brush this, so I don't need to change brushes. I don't think. So then we'll just do the underneath thinner. So the orange on the picture is definitely looking more of a redder orange. So I think what I might do is gradually turn it from orange to red as it goes out. I don't know if that's how it was in real life or not. It's looking like that on this picture, but Warrior had so many face paints, I'm sure nobody will mind if it's not 100% accurate. So I'm mixing a bit of this red in with this orange. No. Must have been some white under there. Okay, so take a bit of this and a bit of this. Here we go. See how this looks. So we're doing really small amounts here. Who's been watching the Football World Cup? Australia. We made it. Top 16. How good's that? Shad says, what has he missed? You've missed nothing, mate. It's just a boring paint session. You've missed nothing. So this is just the first coat. So basically with my first coats, it's always what I call a rough sketch. I'm one of the slowest painters out there, I'm sure. So what we're doing right here is just sketching out the warrior phase, putting in the colors we want. We've got an orange going into a red. We've got the green insides. I'm trying to blend that in a bit more, so it's not such a line, but the line doesn't bother me much either. So I'm happy to keep that, and we'll fix up anything else on the next coat. One thing that is bothering me, the point on top of his nose, I seem to be struggling with. I'm going to worry about that with the white, but I want to make it a touch taller, a bit more sharper. There. Now I've made it a touch more sharper and taller. Let's see what the white can do. Hopefully it dries off a little quick, or otherwise I'm going to be getting a pink. Because I'm impatient, I've got the camera on. I don't just walk away in between coats. It's all done here for the entertainment of you. Or the lack of entertainment, either one. All right, let's just work a bit of this white on. I want to get a sharp edge against that red. And it's obvious that I'm starting where I started last time, because that's had the most chance to dry. It's a very hot, well, not that hot for Australia, but it's pretty hot. So since I'm painting during the day, I don't have to wait as long to dry. Like I say, I'm really not worried about making it perfect on the first coat. It's about getting the pattern right, getting the angles right, and making it even. And then we can straighten it up on the next 2 or 3 coats. There's going to be a black outline on the outside of this white as well, which will help frame it. I do like the warrior paints that has a black outline to add sort of a frame. Just smudged it with my finger. Good on ya. Here we go, all finished. Fixed. Okay, so what I'm noticing here, I've got to come much higher up the forehead, and it will have to follow with the other colors. Things you notice as you go. If you guys think that us customizers just put paint on and get it right the first time, well, guess what? We don't. At least I don't. If you guys do, good on you. You're better than me. But I go back and forth 1,000 times until I'm happy with the finish. So I'm going to have to cut into that white, obviously, with the red, go higher with that, go higher with each color to get it higher up the forehead. So in the end, the white droops closer to his mouth. So it's on that angle. It's not coming straight down. It's coming into his mouth again. So we need to really do a loop to get it back curled in there on that angle, which means we will have to come in with a bit more red closer in again, because I want it up there. It's actually got to be further down here. It's not low enough. The face paint actually does have to come down to here. So this is what I'm talking about with sketching it out. You sometimes don't realize until you put the paint on that you need to do it a bit of a different way, which is fine. This is part of customizing. It's like I say, most of us, I'm assuming, don't get it right the first time, but we will get it right in the end. So that's where we're pretty much ending it, you see. And same on the other side is that dot where I put it. Yeah, look where I've ended it there. Looks ridiculous now, didn't it? Before you weren't thinking it was ridiculous, but now pointing that out, you're thinking, what is he thinking? Don't worry about it. I've got it covered, guys. I've got it all sorted. We don't get angry. We don't get frustrated. It's all part of the, oh, look at that. We've figured it out. It goes like that. Yes. So there we go. Probably should have started off from the outside. Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? I cannot remember what I did with my last warrior, to be honest. I've done a few warriors. Can't remember how I did it. Done too many figures in between them. Okay, so we've got it worked out now. Let's see. I'm going to wipe the sweat off my brow. Probably only keep it going for another 10 minutes, guys, because I've got to pick my daughter up from school. But yeah, we'll see what we can get done in 10 minutes, shall we? A bit more red down here. We'll maybe come back to it another day if you guys are enjoying it. If not, we don't have to. Okay, got this reddish color. So up the top here, we want to have it somewhat like that. All right, so we've got the general shape now. And it's the start of the warrior. So next on this, we will come back at another time. And we're going to make the lines crisp, make them perfect. Now we're happy with the shape, the angles, the colors. It's about making all the lines perfectly straight, making them all crisp, which will mean a few coats more on each one, and straightening up little imperfections like the top of the thing we got here. We got that going off to the side a little bit. So we fix all that kind of stuff up on the next coat. Main thing is we've got a general guide of the face paint, the angles and everything we want. And last of all, we'll frame it with a nice thin black line around the outside. And then we will work on the eyes. So that's about it for today's session, guys. We will call it a day. I'll go wash up and pick up my daughter from school and do this again another time. So there we have it. Thanks very much for watching. If you watch, otherwise you can watch later if you don't want to watch. It's a good background thing. Just watch it. That's all. Bye.